Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we are joined by a special guest. We have got Chosen coming onto the channel. Chosen, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. It's always fun to stop by over here on your channel.
Yeah, nice. So look, guys, we're going to talk about something which is close to my heart right now. So we keep hearing that this is going to be the year of PvP for Raid Shadow Legends, and I want to get Chosen's view on this. And for those who don't know, Chosen is what I'd call like a PvP specialist, not necessarily just in Raid. In other games that he plays, his background is very much to focus on high-level PvP gameplay. So I want to get his take on what's the current state of PvP look like in Raid? Is it right that Raid should focus on PvP in 2023? And if they do, how would we kind of attack it? What would be the areas we would change to actually kind of boost Raid into a really cool game for PvP kind of game modes? So Chosen, like, you've been around for a long time in this scene, and I know probably more about you than my viewers do because we kind of chatted in the background a few times. But give people a bit of a sense of some of the games that you've played and really push PvP in those games.
Sure, man. Yeah, happy to. So I started out in my gaming career trying to make it as a professional StarCraft player. So StarCraft
Cool.
1, StarCraft 2. I was able to get to like Grandmaster level, but I couldn't quite get good enough to where I could like earn a living playing StarCraft. So I started to kind of switch into doing some casting and some YouTube content and stuff like that, and that's kind of what led me down the path of content creation. But I do still love competitive ladders. So the last one I did was a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago. I was super into Age of Empires 4, which was a
Yeah.
new RTS game. And you know, the way that I kind of do it is if a ladder has no pay to win in it, I love it and I take it seriously, and I really want to compete. In a game like, you know, Raid or Diablo Immortal, I more play for like the community and the RPG aspect because I don't really want to go down the rabbit hole of having to spend like thousands of dollars to compete. But
Yeah.
you know, I play the games kind of different depending how they're structured.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, my background before playing Raid was actually I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, but high level raiding in World of Warcraft. And before that, I played FPS games really. So things like Counter Strike, things like Raven Shield back in the day. And the thing what they've all got in common is you can't pay to beat the game. Yeah, basically, everyone starts on a level playing field. I tried to play League of Legends at a decent level. I couldn't get there, but ultimately, everyone starts at the same place. And therefore, PvP is perfect for it because it comes down to either a skill based thing or a mental based thing, doesn't it? Or a combination of the two, I guess. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, I've always loved those
yeah.
game modes, like Hearthstone's Arena, where it's not
Yes.
your deck. It's like you have to build within certain parameters. I've
Definitely.
always loved those kind of ladders.
Yeah. So with Raid, then, I mean, obviously, we don't see you, or in fact, I've not seen you for a while anyway, do plat pushes, stuff like that. So, you know, what's your thoughts on the current state of Raid in terms of PvP?
Yeah, I think, and no, I don't really go for the reason I don't go for plat really is kind of twofold. It's like I told you, point number one, the ladders that I take seriously are where there's like no pay to win. So the reason that I play Raid is to manage my account effectively and dive into the data and be a numbers nerd and
Yeah,
be a part of the community. So like I play Raid in a different way than I would play StarCraft. Like when I play StarCraft,
sure.
I'm trying to be Grandmaster. I'm trying to win. But in terms of like where I think, what was the other question? Like where I think PvP is headed this year, or what my
Yeah,
general
I
thoughts
just
on it?
kind of like where the state of it is right now. You know, what almost like what stops you from doing that right now? Then, so what stops you from really trying to push your own account in PvP?
Sure. I would say if there was some sort of Hearthstone arena type of mechanic, or
Yeah,
like in Clash Royale, they have challenges where everybody's you know, stats are leveled out. So if there was some sort of mechanic that made it come down to everyone's on an even playing field. It doesn't matter if you spent $10 or 100,000. If there was some sort of mechanic like that in Raid, I would be super stoked about it to
yeah,
participate in it. And then the other element of the plat arena that I would like to see them think about changing is another big turnoff for me is the fact that I would have to stay up till 4 in the morning if I want to push plat
yeah,
arena.
definitely.
I would almost wish they like would flip it, like we're gonna do it at this point this week, and then next week we're gonna flip it and do it at this point, and kind of alternate to give different people that are in different parts of the world to not, because like for me, by the time I finish Platinum Arena and then like lay down and go to bed, it would be close to like 3:30 or 4 a.m.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, like obviously you're a content creator full time, so potentially you could do it if you wanted to. It'd ruin your sleep patterns and stuff, but there's a lot of people that they literally just could not do it because of going to work in the morning and all that type of stuff. It's bearing in mind, US I think is probably the second biggest demographic for this game. It seems insane that's obviously it fits with what they want. It doesn't really fit with their player base. So yeah, I agree. That's a very weird kind of thing that they've just left alone.
For sure.
Now,
And
sorry,
could
go
I
on.
slide in and mention one thing really quick that I want to make sure and and say is that I have a ton of respect for the people that are pushing Platinum Arena. They are insane players. They know
Yeah.
a ton about the game.
Oh yeah.
So it's in no way me like whining or saying like people that are pushing Platinum Arena don't deserve it. They just swipe credit cards. Like I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying like because of a few different things and the way that I want to play Raid, it just didn't end up making sense for me. But I have like friends and clan mates and people that push Platinum Arena and they love it and they do a really good job and they know a ton about the arena. So I definitely
Yeah.
respect all the people that play in it.
I mean, a lot of them are some of the most knowledgeable players in the game, generally.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yep.
but like you say, that I mean, my view on the current state is there's too many now mechanics which boost your strength so much. I remember we're going back a long time, but back in the day, I did a series where I was like pushing into plat with just epics. Yeah, and it was super fun. I was pulling out some fun epics and was playing around, and I was able to get into plat. Nowadays, I just don't think it would be remotely possible. I mean, maybe somehow scrape into the bottom of plat if you kind of set it up, but with stuff like empowerment now, with things like blessings, with things like the ascension of gear, all of that stuff kind of snowballing on top of each other, plus honestly a massive power creep of champs. Not only do you need to empower, but you also need to find the latest, most powerful ones, like the new Ukrainians.
Marichka and Taras. Yep.
Yes. These two are like absurdly strong. So not only do you need to find the powerful ones, you also need to empower them. If you want to play at the very top, you're empowering them. You've got to find the right high level blessing for them. All of these things, RNG on top of RNG, is very difficult to do. But I will say, like, Raid have over the last year, or probably 18 months, tried to stop Arena being all about a speed meta. And like it or not, they've kind of done that. I feel like they've done it. It used to be, if you're fastest, you should win the fight, right? But things like Stone Skin, Swift Parry, better defensive champions for your arena defense. There's a number of things they've added in which enable people to think about what they're actually going to do, and therefore actually be able to build a defense that can then become an offense once they've taken a hit, which that definitely wasn't the case 18 months ago. So in a roundabout way they're doing it. I just feel like it's very difficult for someone who starts today to ever be in that kind of scene of I'm going to compete with these guys, which
Yep.
going back to the other games we've spoken about, once you've got the mechanics of a game, you probably could get there, right?
Yeah, for sure. And like you were saying, back in the day, our best options for tanky teams was like, well, put a shield set on Mountain King and
Yeah.
and hope for the best here. So you'd throw a Mountain King or a Mountain King and shield or a Krisk and shield and try to like just survive and hold off. And actually, a big change to the game was Tormund, and they've actually had to nerf him like 2 or 3 times.
Yes. And since then they've added a number of others, like Harima comes in and she ignores or stops a load of the ignore defense stuff coming in. Like they've actually thought about champions that can come in and make a difference to the setup, make a difference to the way people are going to play, which I think is a credit to them, honestly, because that's quite hard to do when the game's already quite mature. But I guess coming on to my second point then, so should 2023 for Raid actually be the year of PvP? Do you think that's the right direction for the game?
I think it is if they do it in a way where it addresses issues that affect the majority of the players and not really the top end. because like there's a lot of changes they can make to tag team arena that would make it an area of the game that people don't hate. I mean, even if they're at least neutral on it, that'd be an improvement, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
I know a lot of the raging comments I get, or not necessarily raging, but frustrating. It revolves around tag team arena and the bazaar not being robust enough, not being enough of an incentive, and the
yeah,
fact that it scales off of flat numbers instead of a percentage base. You know, like when I'm doing the StarCraft ladder, if I'm in the top 5%, I'm in Master League. If I'm in the
yeah,
top 1%, I'm in Grandmaster. You know, that type of stuff. It's not
definitely.
like a full, you know, 4,000 people in Masters type of thing. So I think there's a few changes that can make around Tag Team Arena that would go a long way to making people not kind of hate a PvP as much. But some of the Platinum Arena stuff, sorry to go on a tangent here. I think the number one change I would make for Platinum is to make it random matchmaking. So like
Yeah,
you click find opponent and it pulls somebody within 10 of either direction of your rank. And then you have like
you have to
30
fight them.
seconds. Yep. 30
Yeah,
seconds to pick your champions and you go.
yeah, yeah. No, that would be cool. And like you say, like you said earlier, not necessarily finishing always at the same time. Maybe you have so many fights that you have to do by a period of time. So you've got to do 100 battles in the week, for example. And you can battle as and when you choose. But once you've done your battles for the week, that's it. That's going to be your placement. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot that is kind of weak, I think, in terms of the way they've set up the arena model. And if it's going to be the year of PvP, then they almost, it feels to me like they almost need a bit of a rethink of the whole structure. It might just be that the year of PvP for them is going to be, they're going to launch the Pinnacle, which is this kind of one spot we've got free at the moment in the kind of arena area. And I mean, I've been playing a lot of Eternal Evolution. I don't know if you ever tried Eternal Evolution, but they've got quite a cool PvP system where you have like a knockout. So you start in kind of big groups with both minnows and big guys. Potentially, it's random who you're going to get. Top 6 go through a group, then you go into the next one. Top 4 go through that group. Top 2 go through, etc. So you end up with the strongest people at the end. But it feels like you're in a competition. It feels, I don't know, it's just a bit more exciting to do. And that, it might just be because it's new to me, and I've not done anything like it before in this type of game. But it definitely feels like a better system or a more engaging system than what we've got right now. But yeah, I don't know. If they didn't do this as a year of PvP, where else do you think that they would be better focusing their time?
You know, they already do a good job with like marketing and bringing new players in, and all of that. I would like to see them nurture the new players with more quality of life improvements. So you know, ways to not have to play so much per day. Like
Yeah,
it is a double-edged sword because it's really great that they add more and more stuff to the game, and I don't want to complain about that. But it needs to also be accompanied by ways to speed up the process and alleviate some of the pressure of new players feeling like they have to play 6 hours a day. So I would probably prioritize whatever it takes to make new players have a better experience and want to stay along for the long haul.
yeah. I think the free to play challenge. Every time I do one of these new free to play accounts, I feel like they've made small improvements. I do. I feel like each time I do one, I feel like actually they've added something different in, which is better. They've added in a barrel when you start now, which is good for like leveling up and stuff like that. But I still agree. I think the early game experience needs to be that almost like the whole of the playing team need to sit through what we're doing right now in this free to play challenge and play the game for the first 2 weeks. That's all you need, 2 weeks. And it's like, which bits just don't make sense anymore? What's kind of stopping me from enjoying the game more than I am right now, and actually just pushing that on? My view is the year of PvP. I don't feel like Raid's ready for the year of PvP unless they have got some absolute like top tier ideas, and they have to be very different from what we've already got. That's what
Well,
I'm worried about, I guess.
yeah, and well, and like there is cool things they could do for like a year of PvP. They could add RTA, which is like real time arena, where it's
Yeah,
like, you know, people queue into a system and you fight each other real time. But there's a lot of concerns revolving around that and what that would cause. And then it also, it's not going to really cater to new players and make their experience better. So there's like, and I loved your idea of like the knockout thing. Like, how fun would it be to have content creators like streaming and playing like
Yeah.
knockouts versus each
Yeah.
other? And like, so yeah, there is cool things they could do. I just don't want them to leave some of the quality of life stuff that we really need. Like there's games that launch now on day one with mass food crunching, and like
Definitely.
Raid still doesn't have things like that. So I think there
Yeah.
is some low hanging fruit as an opportunity to add some quality of life stuff. But I do want some changes to PvP for sure.
And how would you feel about a kind of clan versus clan PvP mode? Let's say the pinnacle is actually going to be clan v clan. Have you got some ideas around what you think that could look like, or whether you think that's even a good concept at all?
I think, gosh, that would be a tough thing to pull off. Um,
So
I
I'm thinking,
mean,
in my head, I see it like a Clash of Clans type. You've almost got you put forward 10 or 15 or 20 of your clan that want to participate this week, and almost like the clan leader chooses your matchup, or you choose your matchup that who you're going to take down in the opposition, and you get awarded a certain amount of points for takedowns. Or it looks like a bit of a Doom Tower ladder, and each of your team kind of go through as many layers of the opposition team, and you get points for how far you progress, that type of thing.
yeah,
As an idea, but
that would be cool. Like if both clans could set up like a Doom Tower for the other clan to fight against, and then
yeah.
whichever one like gets through it fastest or gets through it or the most amount of players get through it and stuff like that. I think there is an opportunity to do something really fun. I like some of that.
Because again, it'd still like play like a normal PvP kind of game mode, so it's not like it would be crazy in terms of coding, but ultimately, I just think it would be a more fun experience, and it might start to kind of bridge that gap of, really what have clans got? Clan v clan at the moment, in my opinion, is not clan v clan. It's just a kind of resource grab or resource use, whatever. So it wasn't what I was hoping it to be, I guess. Whereas what I've just described there was actually what I was hoping it would be. Something where it actually kind of engaged the clan to kind of make decisions around, it might be that, all right, I go first, and therefore I can start to inform the rest of the clan. Look, floor 10 has got a bomb squad. Yeah, so don't bother bringing your stone skin group, because you're just going to get nuked off the ground. That type of thing. It's like actually kind of work together as a clan to try and overcome the enemy clan. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It's not clan versus clan. It's just resource dump, and then you compare who dumped more resources. There is no actual mechanic of like, oh, we've got Hell Hades going up against Chosen in like this battle. Like, yeah, I would love to see them make it a little bit more robust for sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, look, I think we've probably taken quite a lot of time there, but guys, comment down below. What do you think about 2023 being the year of PvP for Raid? Is it what we need? And if you haven't done already, go and check out Chosen's channel. I gotta say, Chosen, absolutely killing it for content recently. Like, I absolutely love your takes on other people's kind of either drama videos or kind of like big ticket things that are going on in the community. So, yeah, all I would say is keep going with that. But guys, go and check out Chosen's channel. It will be down below. Chosen, any final words?
Hey, no, that means a lot coming from you. You're one of the best doing it in the business. So hey, I appreciate you bringing me on your channel and chatting with me about some of the different stuff coming in Raid. And yeah, it's been a blast, man. Thanks.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.